morning and thank you for being with us. Broadcasting live from Chiapas, Mexico, I'm Ana Acevedo. Let's start with Mexico news. President Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo said the proposed electoral reform is still being drafted and is expected to be presented on early February with a commitment to guarantee minority representation, reducing the cost of elections, and preserving the autonomy of Mexico National Electoral Institute, known as the INE. During her press conference, the president explained that one of the core elements of the initiative will be changing the way proportional representation seats are selected, so decisions are made by voters rather than party elected. He stressed that the goal is to strengthen participatory democracy and reject claims that the proposal has authoritarian intention. President Sheinbaum stated that the reform will not exclude political forces with lower vote share and assured that minority representation will remain guaranteed. She also clarified that she will not meet directly with coordination of allied parties, noting that the dialogue will instead be handled by the Interior Secretary Rosa Isela. The president emphasized that the reform seeks to consecutive stronger democratic practice and improve oversight of public resources, including how funds are used, who manage them, and when sanctions are applied. She said that there are no valid arguments to label her administration as authoritarian and says such accusation lacks substance. Sheinbaum also challenged criticism for opposition groups and sectors of the international right claim Mexico lacks democracy, reiterating that the country has electoral democracy, full freedom, and respect for human rights. She added that while the reform will preserve that has worked, it will propose cutting overall spending for political parties, that INE and local electoral bodies, arguing that Mexico's elections are among the most impactful in the world. The plan also excludes explaining citizen participation, strengthening public consultations, and increasing the involvement of Mexican living abroad. Economic Secretary Marcelo Ebrard said the review of the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, known as the TECMEC, is moving forward on schedule, in line with previously agreed timelines. He notes that by the end of this month, the three countries are expected to submit the conclusion of consultation held with their respective production sector as part of the trilateral review process. Speaking during the president briefing, Ebrard explained that formal negotiations are expected to conclude in June. He added that the coming days, the Mexican government will deliver the result of the domestic consultation to President Claudia Sheinbaum, after which the document will be sent to the Senate for review. The economy secretary stressed that a top priority for Mexico is preserving the TECMEC, describing North America integration as largely possible and key to the region's competitiveness compared to other economic blocs. Well, he highlighted that strengthening the dispute resolution mechanism is a fundamental subject for Mexico, calling it strategically critical. According to Ebrard, this mechanism creates an equal and balanced framework among the three countries, and improving its efficiency and scope will help reduce uncertainty in how the agreement operates. In this context, President Sheinbaum said Mexico's economy remains solid and is performing well. The announcement that in a couple of weeks she will present an overall assessment of the first year of the Mexico plan, focusing on impact on investment. The president expressed confidence that the plan will drive increasingly invest in the energy sector, including oil, natural gas, renewable energy, and major highway infrastructure projects. And now, continue with more news. The administration of President Donald Trump has proposed that the U.S. Soldier or Central Intelligence, or CIA, agents accompany the Mexican Army in Operation targeting suspected fentanyl laboratories inside Mexico, according to U.S. official who spoke anonymously to the New York Times. The report said Washington suggests that U.S. forces take part in raids on clandestine drug production cities. Under the proposal, operation will be led by Mexico's Defense Ministry, which will retain command and decision-making authority, while the U.S. personnel will provide support intelligence, and frontline advisory systems. However, the Mexican government has ruled out this type of joint operation. If implemented, it will represent a significant expansion of the U.S. operational role inside Mexico, particularly in direct counter narcotics action. Public Security Secretary Omar Garcia Harfuch has said that fewer than 100 U.S. security agents are currently operating in Mexico, all of them unharmed and authorized by both governments. He clarified that these agents are provided from participating in ground-based anti-drug operations and are limited to previously agreed cooperation tasks. According to U.S. officials cited by the New York Times, when long-standing distrust between the two countries over organized crime has arisen one of the past 30 years, mainly through intelligence sharing with the Drug Enforcement Administration or DEA. Excessive pressure from President Trump would jeopardize existing bilateral cooperation. The proposal highlights the sensitive balance that continues to define security collaboration between the two governments. And moving on another story, the worst case scenario linked to the spread of the livestock scramworm in Mexico are beginning to take shape following the death of a wild animal from Mayasis recorded on December 4 in the municipality of Palenque, Chiapas. The victim was a male howler monkey, approximately 5 years old, an endangered species that suffered severe injury to one of its limbs. According to available information, local residents found the animal in critical condition after it fell from a tree. It was first taken to a private veterinary clinic, which notified the Chiapas office on the Federal Environment Protection Agency, known as Profepa. Inspector then transferred the monkey to the Wildlife Conservation Management Unit, or UMA, called Los Susurros. At that facility, veterinary removed larvae from the wound and sent them to a specialized laboratory at the National Service for Agro-Food Health, Safety and Quality, or SENASICA, which confirmed the presence of livestock screenworm. Due to the depth of the injury and the damage caused by the parasite, the howler monkey died and was buried following sanitary protocols. The General Directorate of Wildlife at Mexico Environment Ministry confirmed this is the only report case so far in this species. However, authorities identified the animal despite the fact that it inhabits the Palenque region. The case is especially significant as Chiapas currently records 5,408 accumulated screamworm cases, mainly in cattle but also in domestic animals. Specialists stress the need for strong community monitors and wildlife survey to prevent a potential ecological emergency affecting vulnerable species like the howler monkey. We now send greeting to all the radio stations that rebroadcast ContraPeso Noticias across the region. 101.5 La Multicultural en Suchepa, Radio Flores Magón, Play Hits en San Cristóbal de las Casas, Radio Morena en El Paral, Voz de Alerta en Huixla, In Salto de Agua, From Villa Comaltitlán, La Comaltitleca, La Pegadora, Radio Canoas, Radio Esmeralda, La Rancherita, La Pichanchera, La Mera Mera, La Cultura Radio, La Super Romántica, Inocoso 4 Chula, Pegadora, and Radio Conexión, and Radio Migrante. Grow your business with us and reach a broad, engaged audience. At ContraPeso Noticias, we deliver reliable, high-quality information and provide a unique platform for your business, product, or service to reach thousands of people. Our diverse audience closely follow the most important news, guaranteeing meaningful experience. Advertising with us offer reach, credibility, trust, and direct impact with customers who are genuinely interested in what you offer. We adapt to your needs with flexible advertising packages designed to maximize your market presence. Don't miss the opportunity to connect with more clients and strengthen your brand. Contact us today at 981 829 0201 and discover how we can help your business grow. Enjoy a unique stay in Cancun at Torre Caribe, located in an excellent area near Paradise Beaches, local food market, and shopping center. Room available starting at 220 Mexican pesos per night with rates subject to seasonal changes. Take advantage for a special promotion. Mention Contrapeso Noticias when you call and receive 15% of your third night. Ask about availability and find the perfect option for your trip. For more information and reservation, call 961-333-6072. Make your stay unforgettable. Stay with us. We'll be back after the break.
ContraPeso Noticias.
El lado honesto de la noticia.
ContraPeso Noticias.
Síguenos en todas nuestras redes sociales.
Somos ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias. Somos ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
La chula sigue ContraPeso Noticias.
El viento
Yo sigo
sopla
ContraPeso
historias de madrugada.
ContraPeso Noticias.
Con voces de pueblo y su corazón. Aquí en Chiapas traen la verdad. Relevantes historias, pura claridad. Las voces calladas aquí tienen lugar.
ContraPeso Noticias, el sistema informativo de la Asociación de Radio, Televisión y Medios Digitales.
El Instituto Hispano te ofrece nuevas licenciaturas y maestrías. Licenciatura en Pedagogía, Criminología y Criminalística, Derecho y Litigación, Maestría en Planeación Financiera y Fiscal, Ciencia de la Educación y Educación Especial, en plan cuatrimestral y modalidad mixta. Contamos además con las mejores instalaciones y el mejor equipo académico para tu futuro. Tenemos la mejor opción para ti. Inscripciones abiertas. Comunícate al 961 64 15 41 y 961252507.
Instituto Hispano Jaime Sabines, formando valores para toda la vida.
Muebles. El mejor precio, servicio y calidad es nuestro distintivo. Cotice hoy mismo al 961-2127-068. Por WhatsApp al 961-279-4168.
En este noticiero que sabe escuchar, desde la sierra llega el clamor, se alza la noticia como un tambor. Montañas y ríos saben murmurar que lo importante aquí viene a informar.
Ya conoces al Teletón. Tal vez has visitado alguno de nuestros 27 centros. O conoces a alguien a quien le cambió la vida con sus terapias. Quizás conozcas el Hospital Infantil Teletón de Oncología o alguna familia que encontró esperanza en este lugar. Nos conoces en cada espacio que ha cambiado para ser más accesible para todos. Contigo hemos logrado cambiar historias, deportes e incluso la manera en la que hablamos. Nos conoces porque juntos lo hemos cambiado todo. Y prepárate, porque todavía hay mucho más por cambiar. Teletón, orgullosamente tercos.
Si buscas calidad y confianza y refacciones para vehículos cuatrimoto y racers, Outdoors es la mejor opción. Acompáñanos, estamos ubicados en la Plaza Cañahueca.
Si lo tuyo es la velocidad, la aventura y los terrenos difíciles, necesitas tener tu cuatrimoto o side-by-side en perfectas condiciones. Outdoors es tu mejor aliado, ofreciéndote calidad, confianza y los mejores repuestos para que nada detenga tu ruta. Desde refacciones especializadas hasta los accesorios que potencian tu experiencia, aquí encontrarás todo lo que necesitas para que cada salida sea inolvidable. Porque sabemos que la adrenalina no espera, Outdoors te brinda productos resistentes, duraderos y listos para el desafío. ¿Buscas piezas para tu racer? ¿Necesitas accesorios para mejorar el rendimiento de tu vehículo deportivo? En Outdoors lo tienes todo. Con su amplia gama de productos, la única preocupación que tendrás será decidir cuál será tu próximo destino. No dejes que los límites te detengan. Contacta a Outdoors 938 124 8046 y descubre por qué son la mejor opción para quienes viven con intensidad. Outdoors, donde la adrenalina y la calidad se encuentran.
ContraPeso Noticias.
El lado honesto de la noticia.
ContraPeso Noticias.
Síguenos en todas nuestras redes sociales.
Somos ContraPeso Noticias.
Contrapeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
Contrapeso Noticias.
Desde
ContraPeso Noticias.
hasta tu
Somos ContraPeso Noticias.
en la tierra del jaguar.
La chula
y
sigue
la
ContraPeso
cañada.
Noticias.
We are back and moving on to the international news. Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado said on Thursday that she handed her Nobel Peace Prize medal to US President Donald Trump during a meeting at the White House. Machado made a statement to reporters outside the US Capitol who declined the answer whatever the president formally accepted the object, given that the Nobel Committee considered the award non-transferable. According to her account, this gesture was intentional to recognize that she described as Trump's unique commitment to the freedom of the Venezuelan people. Machado characterized the meeting as excellent and said the delivery of the medal symbolized mutual respect. President Trump later referred to the inclusion on the social media platform Truth Social, saying it was an honor to meet Machado and claiming that she gave him her Nobel Peace Prize in recognition of his work, describing the act as meaningful. Trump was repeatedly expressed interest in receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, arguing that he has helped that several conflicts, although some involved temporarily ceasefire or the resolution of non-armed disputes. Machado's visit to the White House took place without the usual protocols for special guests. She entered through a security checkpoint and left without an official photograph with the president. By the end of the day, neither side had released mention of the meeting. Analysts say the move could be interpreted as an effort by Machado to gain political leverage amid competition for Washington's attention on Venezuela's future. Norway's Nobel Institute was reiterated that the Peace Prize cannot be transferred, shared, or revoked, and therefore remain in the name of the origin recipient. Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, submitted a proposal on Tuesday to the National Assembly seeking a partial reform of the organic hydrocarbons law, aimed at decreasing and diversifying foreign investment in the country's oil industry. The announcement was made during the presentation of the government's 2025 annual report to lawmakers. Rodriguez said the initiative will incorporate production models established under the anti-block law, including the so-called Chevron model, which she said enable invest of nearly $900 million from mixed capital scarcement and divided reinvestment. She explained that the goal is to channel new investment into fields where oil activity was never occurred or where infrastructure is lacking. Rodriguez recalled that the anti-block law, approved in 2019, allows certain regulations to set aside when sections made them unworkable, while also permitting exceptional contraction and payment mechanisms to attract foreign capital. The announcement comes less than 1 week after President Donald Trump met at the White House with US and international oil company to discuss potential investment in Venezuela. Context: Rodriguez called on political forces to preserve peace and warned that the country faces what she described as a generalist threat. She also said oil reveal will be directed to two funds: one for inspection protection, focused on wash, education, housing, and food, and other for infrastructure and service, both supported by the technological platform to ensure transparency. She described relations with the United States as a historical contradiction and said her government will seek to resolve it through diplomacy, not ruling out talk without Trump in Washington. And now, continuing with more news. The United States announcement on Wednesday, January 14, 2026, the start of the second phase on President Donald Trump's peace plan for the Gaza Strip. The new phase calls for the demilitarization of the Palestinian enclave and the establishment of a technocratic government without Hamas participation. The announcement was made by Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, through a special social media. According to Witkoff, this stage marked the transition from ceasefire to a new framework for governments, comprehensive reconstruction, and disarmament. Phase 2 of the so-called 20-point plan includes the creation of a transitional Palestinian technocratic government known as the National Commitment for the Administration of Gaza, along with the complete demilitarization of the territory and the disarmament of all unauthorized personnel. The U.S. negotiators warned that Washington expects Hamas to fully comply with the complement, including the immediate return of the last decades hostage, and cautioned that failure to do so result in serious consequences. The first phase of the plan, launched in October, involved a ceasefire, the releasing of all hostages held by Hamas, and the entry of the humanitarian aid into Gaza. Earlier in the day, Egypt's government said consensus has been reached on the members of the Palestinian Technocratic Committee, expect to include between 15 and 18 individuals. Egypt's Foreign Minister, Red Abdelti, said the commitment will soon be announced and deployed to manage daily life and essential services. Plan stated that the transitional body will govern Gaza under the supervision of a peace council chaired by President Donald Trump. A Hamas official said that once the agreement is finalized, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas to issue a decree to formalize its creation. And we go to a break and we'll be back with more news.
ContraPeso Noticias.
El lado honesto de la noticia.
ContraPeso Noticias.
Síguenos en todas nuestras redes sociales.
Somos ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
Desde
ContraPeso Noticias.
hasta Tuxtla.
Somos ContraPeso Noticias.
En la tierra del jaguar.
La chula
y
sigue
la
ContraPeso
cañada.
Noticias.
El viento
Yo sigo a
sopla
ContraPeso
historias de madrugada.
ContraPeso Noticias.
Con voces de pueblo y su corazón. Aquí en Chiapas traen la verdad. Relevantes historias, pura claridad. Las voces calladas aquí tienen lugar.
ContraPeso Noticias, el sistema informativo de la Asociación de Radio, Televisión y Medios Digitales.
El Instituto Hispano te ofrece nuevas licenciaturas y maestrías. Licenciatura en Pedagogía, Criminología y Criminalística, Derecho y Litigación, Maestría en Planeación Financiera y Fiscal, Ciencia de la Educación y Educación Especial, en plan cuatrimestral y modalidad mixta. Contamos además con las mejores instalaciones y el mejor equipo académico para tu futuro. Tenemos la mejor opción para ti. Inscripciones abiertas. Comunícate al 961 64 15 41 y 96125266507.
Instituto Hispano Jaime Sabines, formando valores para toda la vida.
Muebles. El mejor precio, servicio y calidad es nuestro distintivo. Cotice hoy mismo al 961-2127-068. Por WhatsApp al 961-279-4168.
En este noticiero que sabe escuchar, desde la sierra llega el clamor, se alza la noticia como un tambor. Montañas y ríos saben murmurar que lo importante aquí viene a informar.
Ya conoces al Teletón. Tal vez has visitado alguno de nuestros 27 centros. O conoces a alguien a quien le cambió la vida con sus terapias. Quizás conozcas el Hospital Infantil Teletón de Oncología o alguna familia que encontró esperanza en este lugar. Nos conoces en cada espacio que ha cambiado para ser más accesible para todos. Contigo hemos logrado cambiar historias, deportes e incluso la manera en la que hablamos. Nos conoces porque juntos lo hemos cambiado todo. Y prepárate, porque todavía hay mucho más por cambiar.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said dozens of countries around the world are suffering from disrupt from their sovereignty rights and from an international environment defined by chaos and disorder, as they lack the strength and resources to defend themselves. The remark was delivered on Tuesday during a ceremony receiving on the credential of 32 ambassadors on the Kremlin's Alexander Hall. Putin said the global situation is continuously deteriorating, marked by the escalation of long-standing conflict and the emergence of new flashpoints. He argued that diplomacy is increasingly being replaced by unilateral action, which he described as dangerous. Without directly naming the United States of President Donald Trump, Putin criticized that he called the replacement of dialogue with a monologue driven by the logic of the law of the strongest, where powerful actors seek to impose their will. He urged respect for international law and called for a more just, multipolar world order in which each country can fulfill its own development model, determine its future, and preserve its culture and tradition without external interference. In a related statement, Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova expressed concern over recent tension and what she described as aggressive rhetoric from the United States toward Cuba. The intrusive language is unacceptable and nothing that the island has endured decades of sanctions she called illegal. Zakharova also addressed Venezuela, stating that any decision by U.S. court regarding President Nicolas Maduro will be illegal unless his order is realized. She said Maduro, as a sitting head of state, enjoys absolute immunity and that any attempt to detain him will constitute a serious violation of international law, making any such judicial ruling ineligible in Moscowville. And that concludes this segment of today's international coverage. Thank you for staying with us here on ContraPeso Noticias. We appreciate your trust and your time. We will continue to bring you the most important story from Mexico and around the world with clarity, responsibility, and the commitment to the truth. Have a great day, stay informed, and good luck on Monday. Remember, this is ContraPeso Noticias.